Anytime that these little books are picked up, to me anyways, are like a quick little read. The Temptation of Your Touch. Again, I will pick these up if they are cheap. Like this one was. It's a library discarded book, and a lot of times they used to be $5 for $1. They've went up a bit. I can't remember if they're $5 for $2 now or something, but anyways. So this is one that I picked up from the library. Actually, it's not bad. It's a cute little story. I'm actually enjoying it. Again, it's not a book that I can read word for word. Like, I have read a lot of this word for word. There are spots that it's not happening. But just because it is so predictable, and you know what they're going to say, and you know what they're going to think. So it's like, it's just not worth it. They're just going over exactly what you know they're going to feel in that moment, you know. So it's like, I don't know. You know, and they use all sorts of wonderful lines, like it felt like the, you know, calming waters rolling over the rocks, you know, type thing. But still, I don't need to read about the little calming waters rolling over the rocks, relating to their lives or their whatever. But Maximilian Burke prides himself on being the man every woman wants her daughter to marry, but after his scoundrel brother steals his bride, Max decides there's more satisfaction in being a rogue than a gentleman. He flees London and for lonely Cadwick Manor, and though the tumble-down estate comes complete with a ghost, it's Max's no-nonsense housekeeper who haunts his dreams. Now, I don't want to give a lot away. The housekeeper and those that are there, which isn't very many, because the manor has been closed for a very long time. Prim and proper Anne Spencer could do without a new master, especially one as gorgeous and temperamental as the Earl of Dravenwood. Even as she schemes to be rid of him, she is irresistibly drawn into the masculine embrace. But when Max vows to solve the mystery of the White Lady of, I think it's Cadwick, he risks both his heart and the temps. Anyways, there's this picture on the wall that stays with the manor, and there's a lot of the manor is very tumbled down. It hasn't been lived in except for by a handful of servants for a long time. The last man who took it over ran away because, well, they scared him away. But there's a lady who used to live in the house, and she's extremely very beautiful, and her portrait is up on the wall. And every man that comes there is like mesmerized. Sorry, I have baby stuff on the couch behind me from my grandson. Mesmerized by her picture on the wall because she was like 18 and young and beautiful. 18, a whole lot of people are young and beautiful. But anyways, so then he wants to know, he leaves his family because yes, he's going to get married, and then his brother married the woman he was going to marry. They were in love before, and then the situation, and Max tried to get her to love him because he loved her, but then the brother came back, so they got married. And so he takes off and he goes out to one of his father's manors to get away from everything. And there is a ghost of this beautiful young lady there who, due to circumstances that happened in her life, she ended up jumping off the cliffs out behind the manor. But her bedroom is still in the manor. Of course, it's very full of like rain and mold and everything because that part of the manor is no longer lived in. It's like a tower that she used to live in. And she was extremely spoiled. And she does haunt the manor, but the servants kind of add to it so that anybody who comes there will run away because, well, I don't want to say why, because that's really giving. Okay, fine. There's supposedly a treasure hidden That's what they've heard, is there is a treasure hidden. And they've been there for, like, I take it they've been there for 10 years or so or more. And they have never found this treasure. I have actually an idea. Like, I don't know if they're going to find, I'm not quite done the book, so I don't know if they're going to find the treasure yet. But I kind of have an idea where it might be, and I could be wrong. I don't know. So, of course, Max and the housekeeper are falling in love. But then, of course, you know, you go through, a lot of books do this, where they're just like too stubborn to say so or to admit it. And, of course, he has a rank. He's a lord, and she's a housekeeper. So, really, you know, they're not supposed to be together. Because that really doesn't work. And then there's the other house staff. Nana and Hodges have been there forever. Hodges has Alzheimer's, which of course they don't realize it's Alzheimer's at that time. They just think he's nuts. So he causes some problems, and he knows that the housekeeper, Anne, wants the Lord out of the house. So then in his dementia state, he tries to poison him in different things, but he doesn't really mean a lot of things that he does because he's not thinking properly. Nana sits around and knits or crochets forever because her hands are actually very full of arthritis, so she finds it hard, but there's not much else she can do. And then there's the Elizabeths. I'm sorry, I can't remember, there's 2 or 3 or 4 of them, but like there's Beth and Elizabeth and Liz and Bessie or whatever, which I don't know why that was done because it just makes it very confusing. I think so. Anyways, but it's lighthearted. Yes, it's a romance, historical romance, which I like to read now and then because I read a lot of fantasy, and it's nice just to have something just light, and here it is, just read it through and there it goes. Yeah. Anyways, not doing well with this. Okay, sorry, not doing well. Ken Follett. Now, again, this is a book that I picked up for. It's a very cold book too, and the cover keeps falling off it, which is such a pain. There's not even a price in this book. I think I got a book sale for a couple dollars. I don't know where I got it, but anyways, he wrote a book. Oh my gosh, I should have looked it up. Okay, I can't think of the name of it right now. It won't come to me, and I know it. Then when I'm in my book groups, everybody talks about this other book that he wrote and how good it is. And I have thought about signing it out from the library, which I can't do right now because of the COVID-19 virus, and they're closed, but he wrote another book, I think it has Earth in the title, that everybody raves about. But this one, I had picked up, Fall of Giants. I had picked up, well, actually, it's book 1 of a Century trilogy. Oh, no wonder it's so long. Now, I like Fritz, and World Without End. Fall of Giants. New historical epic. The first novel in the Century trilogy. Oh, I'm not reading this. No. Okay. There's certain parts about the story I liked. But you know what? I'm bored. And there are other people who feel as I do about this book. They did get good reviews. If you want to like really stick to it and really get into all these characters and all the war that's going on and all the politics of the war that's going on and the country's going to war and why they're going to war and how everybody feels about the war, it's going to be a good book for you. Millions of readers, The first century in the Century trilogy follows the fates of 5 interrelated families: American, German, Russian, English, and Welsh. as they move through the world-shaking dramas of the First World War, the Russian Revolution, and the struggle for women's, I can't say it, suffrage. And there is a whole lot of characters. Billy's sister Ethel, housekeeper for the aristocratic Fritz, takes a fateful step above her station. Now, I do find that a little interesting, but it's not that it's long. It's not that it's even a trilogy. It's just the war stuff just goes on and on. It talks about the war and why they're going to fight the war and all the politics of the war and all the Germans and the on and on and on. And I'm sorry. I just not going to read it. And now that I find out it's a trilogy and it's probably continued, no thanks. I just can't. But the other book that everybody kept raving about, that I heard about, maybe is it the one mentioned at the front of this book, World Without End? I don't think so. I don't think that was the one that was mentioned in the group that everybody loved. Fall of Giants. I'm going to have to look and see. I might try the other one still by him. Is it Follett? I still might try the other one by him that everybody keeps raving about, just because, you know, this one's not my cup of tea. Doesn't mean that the other one won't be. I just don't feel like getting into all the politics and the endless talk going on and on about the war and the fighting and why they're going to fight. And I don't feel like it. You know, I just don't want to do it. I don't know if I'll ever come back to it, but if I remember, like when the library opens, I might try one of his other books and see if they're the same way, or that Earth one, like I say. I think it had Earth in the title. I'll have to find out again what the name of it was and see. My back's killing me. Anyways, so I have, the libraries are closed due to the coronavirus. I do have, like, I don't know, a number of other books here that I have picked up at sales that I have not read, and I have plenty to go check out and go through, and that have been sitting here a while for months and months and months and years. I've been going to the library, checking out other books. These books have been sitting here because every time I go to the library, I cannot just leave the library without books, even though I have books at home to read. So these are finally going to get looked into and get read. And I just went to my little, I only have a little shelf. I don't have room for, you know, a library in here or a built-in shelving unit, unfortunately. So I'm going to look at the ones that I have and try to pick something else to read.